Rare earth elements are the secret sauce of our modern world, a group of 17 metals with unique properties. You might not know names like neodymium or cerium, but you use them every day. They're essential for high-tech products, smartphones, electric cars, and vibrant TV screens all rely on them. Despite their name, rare earths aren't actually rare, but finding them in miniable concentrations is tough and often environmentally damaging. Just a few countries dominate their supply, making them a source of geopolitical tension. When one country controls the tap, industries worldwide worry about disruptions. Rare earths are in your laptop, your car's navigation, and the magnets in electric motors. They're also used in catalysts, glass polishing, and high-precision lenses. This dependency means any supply disruption makes global headlines, affecting everything from electronics to defense. For decades, the world has relied on a single primary source, creating a fragile but efficient system. When that source tightens control, it exposes how vulnerable our supply chains are. The conversation shifts from sourcing to building resilience and finding alternatives. This is the backdrop for any discussion of export curbs, a global game of resource management. Understanding rare earths is key to understanding the stakes in today's tech-driven world. Taiwan, a small island, plays a colossal role in the global economy through semiconductors, the brains of nearly every electronic device. Its foundries, led by TSMC, are the most advanced in the world, producing the majority of the world's most sophisticated chips. This dominance is the result of decades of investment, government support, and relentless innovation. Taiwan built an entire ecosystem around chip manufacturing, from design to packaging and testing. When companies want cutting-edge chips, they turn to Taiwan, making it indispensable to the global tech supply chain. Taiwan produces over 60% of the world's semiconductors by revenue, and over 90% of the most advanced chips. If Taiwan's foundry stopped, global production of cars, smartphones, and computers would grind to a halt. That's why it's called the Silicon Shield. Its security is a matter of international concern. Any disruption, from earthquakes to political tensions, causes global anxiety. Taiwan's chipmakers have built their reputation on reliability and trust, operating some of the world's most complex factories. Their ability to deliver billions of flawless chips is a modern, industrial miracle. This excellence cements Taiwan's position at the top of the technology pyramid. In October 2023, China announced new export controls on specific rare earth materials. This move was part of a broader strategy, using economic tools for strategic goals. China dominates the rare earths market, giving it powerful leverage in trade disputes. The controls required special licenses for exports, adding bureaucracy and uncertainty. Officially, the measures were for national security, but the timing suggested a strategic intent. The goal reminded the world of China's critical position in high-tech and green energy supply chains. This wasn't the first time. China halted rare earth shipments to Japan in 2010, causing global price spikes. That event spurred countries to seek new sources and alternatives. The 2023 announcement reignited concerns about the weaponization of trade and fragile supply lines. The message: access to China's resources isn't guaranteed. For industries dependent on these materials, this creates significant risk and unpredictability. The curbs were a calculated squeeze in the ongoing global tech rivalry. China's export curbs sent a wave of concern through the global tech industry with immediate focus on Taiwan. Headlines speculated that Taiwan's semiconductor giants could be hit hard. The fear: if TSMC couldn't get key materials, global chip shortages would worsen. Chips require hundreds of chemicals and materials, so it seemed plausible that rare earths were critical. The narrative fit the broader story of geopolitical competition, one power using economic leverage against another. Investors reacted with nervousness, and industry groups scrambled for answers. Opaque supply chains fueled speculation about hidden vulnerabilities. The initial reaction was cautious alarm, highlighting anxiety about semiconductor stability. The COVID-19 pandemic had already shown how fragile these supply chains could be. The world waited for Taiwan's response, wondering if its Silicon Shield could withstand the pressure. The real test was about to begin. Soon after the panic, Taiwan's message was clear, calm, and confidence. Industry experts and officials downplayed the impact of China's curbs on semiconductors. The reason? Advanced chip-making doesn't rely on the rare earths targeted by China. The real essentials are silicon wafers, photoresists, and specialty chemicals, not the restricted rare earths. Taiwan's industry has spent years securing these critical inputs. Executives confirmed their operations weren't dependent on the restricted materials. Chipmakers know exactly what goes into their products and had already analyzed the risks. This factual response calmed markets and replaced speculation with clarity. Taiwan's chipmakers are seasoned in risk management with diversified sources and stockpiles. The Beijing announcement was a scenario they had prepared for. Their response, business as usual. The industry's maturity and preparedness turned panic into poise. To see why Taiwan's chip industry is unfazed, look at what actually goes into a chip. The main ingredient is silicon, abundant and purified into wafers. Photolithography etches circuits onto these wafers using photoresists and specialty chemicals. Essential chemicals include hydrofluoric acid, ammonia, and tungsten hexafluoride. Not the rare earths China restricted. Rare earths are mainly used for magnets and displays, not in the core chip fabrication process. Some rare earths, like cerium oxide, are used for wafer polishing, but Taiwan sources these from multiple countries. Diversification means a curb from one supplier isn't a critical threat. The industry constantly innovates to reduce reliance on any single material. Strategic security comes from developing alternatives and building resilience. Taiwan's chip makers ensure they're never cornered by a single source dependency. Taiwan's chip industry's confidence comes from a long-term strategy of resilient supply chains. They treat supply chain management as core business, aiming to eliminate single points of failure. For every critical material, they have multiple suppliers in different regions. China plus one, or multi-sourcing. This approach costs more, but ensures against disruption. When China announced curbs, Taiwanese firms shifted orders to other suppliers as planned. They also maintained significant stockpiles of key materials, not relying solely on just-in-time delivery. This buffer lets them react to shocks without slowing production. The government supports this resilience, funding research and building international partnerships. Public-private cooperation creates a robust, hard-to-disrupt ecosystem. Taiwan's supply chains are a strategic asset, protected at the national level. The 2010 rare earth crisis taught the world a hard lesson about over-reliance on China. Since then, global efforts have diversified the rare earth supply chain. Mines reopened in the US and Australia, new processing in Malaysia and Estonia. China remains dominant, but it's no longer the only source. Taiwan's semiconductor industry benefits from this diversification, sourcing rare earths like cerium oxide from non-Chinese suppliers. Japanese companies are major producers of high-purity chemicals, with their own diversified supply chains. By partnering with Japan, Taiwan benefits from Japan's strategic de-risking. The US has also re-entered the rare earth market, providing another non-Chinese source. Multiple suppliers give buyers like Taiwan leverage and stability. Diversification is a mindset. Tech industries are designing products to use fewer critical minerals or substitute more abundant ones. For semiconductors, this means constant innovation for secure, high-performance materials. The response to China's curbs shows this strategy is working. The world is steadily reducing dependency, making economic threats less potent. China's rare earth curbs and Taiwan's calm response offer a clear lesson. Reality is often less dramatic than headlines suggest. Taiwan's semiconductor industry is robust, not fragile, thanks to deep technical knowledge and strategic planning. Its leaders have built a business model designed to withstand global shocks. Demand for advanced semiconductors is only growing, with AI, 5G, and electric vehicles all relying on Taiwan's chips. Taiwan's technological lead is years ahead of competitors, securing its prosperity. Geopolitical tensions will continue, but the world is too dependent on Taiwan's output for any side to risk major disruption. Mutual dependency creates a delicate but powerful balance. Taiwan and its partners are investing in new factories and global expansion, making supply chains even more resilient. The industry's response to the rare earth scare was a quiet show of strength, operating on facts, not fear. As long as Taiwan continues to innovate and execute, its position at the center of the tech universe is secure. The world will keep looking to this small island for the chips that power our future.